Hey guys, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different for this video. Last week I actually ended up hurting my lower back pretty badly. I was incapacitated for 2 full days, and then after those 2 days I decided to start trying to rehab my back through a series of mobility and strengthening exercises, and I thought it would be a good idea to share that with you today. So basically, just to give you some background, when you hurt your low back in the way that I did, which was I over lengthened my back, you want to actually avoid stretching. You want to focus more on strengthening the weaker muscles that are supposed to support your back, which are your abs and your glutes. So that being said, that's what I'm going to focus on today, with a little bit of mobility, of course, mixed in. So let's go ahead and get started. All you're going to need is a mat for today. So let's go ahead and start on the floor. Come on down into a tabletop position, hands and knees. If you are experiencing any kind of back pain, obviously take all of this with a grain of salt. Check with your doctor, do all of that good stuff before engaging in any physical activity. And if you feel any kind of sharp, horrible pain, stop. Okay, so what we're going to start with is just a little gentle cat-cow. So on an inhale, start to tip the tailbone, look up, and then on an exhale, round it out. So this is where I have to be really careful not to overflex my spine. Inhale again, look up, and then exhale, round it out. So as you can see, I'm not going super crazy into this flex position. Inhale again, and exhale. I just want to take it right to the edge of my mobility at the moment without pushing past there. Let's do one more. Big breath in, and exhale. Round it out. Okay, so now let's start to build up a little heat. Let's come into a plank hold. So if you are not super strong on planks, just scoot your knees back from your hands a little bit and just sink your hips down towards the mat, keeping this nice straight plank position here. And then if you want to try for a full feet version, tuck those toes under and lift it up. So let's just hold here for a few breaths. Might start to shake. That's okay. Just focus on your form. So we want the heels pulling away from the top of the head. We want the shoulders rolled down and back. We kind of want the elbows to kind of slightly rotate inward, not overdoing it. And then of course we want the abs pulled in nice and tight, tailbone tucked under so we're nice and flat all the way across. Let's take one more deep breath and exhale. And then just go ahead and lower down. And let's go into a child's pose. This can also be risky in that stretching the low back position. So just gently go into this if you're having any kind of back pain. Don't just jump to the last place where you knew you could go to. Every day is different, especially with an injury. And this is about as far as I'm going to go in my child's pose today. Now let's add a little movement here. So on an inhale, let's start to lift the hips. We're going to drop the hips down towards the mat. So squeeze your glutes, pull the shoulders down, look up. And then lift the hips and send them back to child's pose. And again, let's inhale to lift. And then let's exhale to drop those hips down. So I say drop, what I mean is very carefully and controlled lower those hips towards the mat, keeping your glutes really flexed, abs in tight. And then let's send it back to child's pose. And let's do one more. Inhale, come forward. And just move your legs as you need to for this. My legs tend to shift outward as I go through this movement, so you can just kind of readjust. And then let's come back to our child's pose one last time. And then just walk your hands back underneath your shoulders and go ahead and sit yourself up onto your knees. Okay, now we kind of started working the glutes a little bit with that last move. Let's continue, but let's flip it over and do it this other way. So take your time getting down onto the floor. Do whatever you need to do to get down there safely if you're having any kind of back issues. So let's just lift the hips up into bridge pose. Let's just hold here. Feel it out. Think about how it feels. Do you feel your glutes working? Or do you feel your hamstrings working? Or do you feel your quads and your knees working? Is your chest and your neck all tensed up? We don't want that. We want to loosen everything up. And we want this lower portion to be in the glutes. So if you're feeling it more in your hamstrings, try to scoot your feet in closer to your butt. If you're feeling it a little bit too much in the quads and the knees, try to scoot your feet out a tad from your butt. And these are just little changes, like an inch in or an inch out, nothing crazy. Now let's do a little drill here. Let's focus on just the right glute. So shove your right foot into the floor and pop this right hip up a little bit higher. And now let's switch. Shove the left foot into the floor, pop this left hip up a little higher. And again, switch to the other side. And left. And right. One more. Lift. Push both hips up. And then let's slowly come on back down. Now gently bring the knees up into the chest, or even right here above your hips if that's as far as they go. Same thing here. This is a stretching motion, so we want to go in really slowly and gradually and just feel the waters, test the waters, see if it is too much and we need to back off, or if it feels good, you want to go maybe a slightly deeper. And now if this is feeling good for you, let's do a little side-to-side rock. So just grab hold of those knees, however is comfortable, and real gently just rock it from side to side. All right, let's take a leg lower ab move to get the core working a little bit more. So let's get those legs up, hands down by your hips. You can even kind of hold onto the edges of the mat if you need a little bit more support here. So inhale, lower down, exhale, lift them back up. So as you inhale and lower down, we're focusing on that low back. It is not lifting from the floor. As you exhale to lift the legs back up, we're pulling the abs in. Inhale, lower down, exhale, lift it back up. If this is feeling good, you can try to go a little bit lower. Every time, pulling those abs in with your exhale. Try to take note of your upper body. Make sure we don't have any tension creeping up into the neck. Let's do one more here. And then bend the knees and just bring them into the chest. And let's just do another side to side rock. Just kind of loosen up any tension that we just built up in this area. And then one of my favorite things to do after abdominal work is to take a twist. So let's take both knees down to one side and then gently open up the arm to the opposite side. And just breathe here, enjoying the twist. And let's go to the other side. So use this hand to help yourself. Use this other arm to get those legs back up. And of course, use your abs as much as possible. And now let's lower down to the other side. So if this is too much to even lower your legs like that, you can actually, what I was having to do right after my injury was roll my whole body, so my torso goes too, and then open back up into the twist, if that feels good. Again, if any of this is causing any kind of intense pain, pinching, throbbing, aching, anything like that, we want to back off. If it's slightly uncomfortable, that's okay. You just have to be the judge. Make a judgment call. Listen to your body. And let's go ahead and bring those knees back up to center on your back. Let's do a few more side to side rocks here. And now to get up, this is tricky, especially if you're injured. So what I would usually do is get my hands behind my knees and rock it up to seated, but I'm not even going to risk that today. So I'm just going to tip over onto my side and use my hands to push myself up and keep my back nice and protected. Okay, pop yourself up onto your knees. Tuck those toes under. And let's find ourselves in a little squat. So I'm not going to go super low. I'm going to open my legs up. I'm going to get my hands up to support my torso. And I want to come up to right about here. We're going to do a shoulder dip. So dip one shoulder down and look up. And now let's go to the other side. Dip the other shoulder down and look up. And then just come right back to center. And let's start to just kind of slowly tuck the tailbone and stand it all the way up. Okay, take these feet a little bit wider now. And we're going to just hinge at the waist and come into a flat back fold. So I'm not going all the way into a fold. I'm just going to come right about here. And if you need to stop a little higher up here or even up here, that's fine. I'm just feeling good and strong today. My back feels good. Everything feels good. So I'm going to even lift my arms straight out. And now from here, notice what you're feeling. Which muscles are engaging? Which ones need to be engaging? So we need the abs pulling in. We want the butt squeezing. You'll feel the hamstrings, of course. And it's okay to feel the back a little bit, especially if it's, just kind of tired. That's okay. We just, again, want to avoid aching or anything bad. And now let's take a twist from here. So bring one hand down right below your face. You can stay on your fingertips. You can have a block, whatever you need here. And we're going to twist. Reach up. And let's switch. Bring that hand down. Other side reaches. And bring that hand down. And now scoot your feet a little closer together. Let's take a forward fold. So you can stop wherever you want to stop with those feet. I'm going to come all the way underneath my hips. Now bend your knees enough. I'm going to show you my side view here. Bend your knees enough so you can rest your whole torso on your thighs. And now from here, if you want to start straightening the legs a little bit more, be my guest. Just be cautious. Take it slow. And breathe. Do a little head shake. Loosen up the neck. And now I'm just going to roll it up nice and slow. So bend your knees a little bit more. Tuck your tailbone, abs, everything engaged, glutes engaged. Roll it all the way up. And let's just take a nice big inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, lower the arms. All right, well, I know that felt good for me. Hope that felt good for you. If you have any questions about any of this, as always, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again.